Welcome to our channel, USA Coin Spot. In this video I am going to tell you about the penny, United States of America, which are very valuable and rare. If you have them, you can take advantage of them. Top 1. You might want to sit down for this one, because today, we're talking about a penny that could be worth more than your car, your rent, or even your savings account. This isn't just pocket change. This is the 1955 American penny from the US proof set, and people are cashing in big time. You've probably heard stories about rare coins going for thousands of dollars. Some of them sound too good to be true, right? Well, this one isn't a rumor. It's real. It's happening right now. And if you have this coin sitting in an old proof set, a coin jar, or a forgotten box from your grandparents' attic, you could be holding a silent fortune in your hand. Now let's break it down. This isn't the regular 1955 penny you might find in your pocket or loose in a drawer. This is the premium, mirror-shined, ultra-detailed version minted by the US Mint exclusively as part of the official 1955 proof set. These coins were never meant for everyday use. They weren't tossed into vending machines or passed around in stores. They were struck with precision, high pressure, flawless design, and meant to be collected. And that's exactly why they're so valuable today. But here's where things get really interesting. Most people have no idea that these coins, these tiny copper treasures, can fetch more than luxury watches and even high-end electronics. While the average person is skipping over their change, true collectors are hunting for this specific penny like it's a piece of hidden treasure. And when they find it? Jackpot! We're talking about a coin that has sold for thousands. And in top condition? Brace yourself. Collectors have paid as much as $89,000 for a single 1955 proof penny. Imagine that. A 1-cent coin turning into a payday big enough to wipe out debt, buy a new car, or take the vacation of your dreams. And yes, it has really happened. One coin. One penny. A real, actual sale. That's not hype. That's not a rumor. That's cold, hard cash changing hands because of one rare piece of copper. And even more mind-blowing? There are still people who own these coins and don't even know what they have. So here's the million-dollar question. Or should I say the $89,000 question. Do you have one? Do you know someone who collected proof sets? Did your grandfather have a collection stored in the basement? Have you ever picked up a sealed 1955 proof set at a garage sale, flea market, or estate auction? This is the time to check. Seriously, go now. Proof coins look dramatically different. They're shiny, crisp, and the details pop out at you. These aren't dull, circulated pennies. They almost look like tiny mirrors. And if it's the 1955 penny from the proof set in amazing condition, you're looking at something most people will never even touch in their lifetime. And here's the truth that coin dealers won't always tell you. You don't have to be an expert to find one. You don't need a magnifying glass or years of experience. You just need to know what to look for and where to look. The value is sitting in safes, drawers, forgotten boxes, and neglected coin albums all across America. People are discovering these coins in their homes every year, and those discoveries are turning into real cash. Auctions are exploding with demand. The prices keep climbing. Everyone wants in. But there are only so many of these 1955 proof pennies out there. Every one that gets sold is one less available. And that's why the price is going up. That's why the market is so hungry. That's why this isn't just a coin, it's a chance. A lucky break. A piece of history that could change your financial future if you know where to look and act fast. So what is it worth? Let's talk numbers. The 1955 proof penny has sold for $2,700 in circulated but clean condition. That alone is jaw-dropping for a coin you might already have. But for the rare, pristine ones, the showpieces, the sales have reached a staggering $89,000. That's $89,000. For one single penny. Not 100 of them. Not a whole collection. Just one. One copper coin from 1955, carefully preserved, shining like a gemstone, sitting inside a simple little proof set. And if you've got it, you're not just lucky. You're rich.so. Don't wait. Check those sets. Search those drawers. Ask your family. Look at every 1955 penny you come across. Because somewhere, someone is going to find this coin today, and that someone could be you. Top 2. Have you ever held something in your hand and had no idea it could be worth a small fortune? Imagine owning a single penny, not some ancient, dusty coin from the 1800s, but a simple, clean, modern penny from 1995, and discovering that it's not worth just 1 cent, but potentially enough money to flip your entire financial situation upside down. This is not a joke. This is not a rumor. This is reality, and it's catching collectors off guard all across the country. Today we're talking about the 1995 American penny, not the regular one you'd find in your spare change, but the one that came straight from the United States Mint's official proof set. And let me tell you right now, this tiny copper coin is turning out to be one of the most unexpected jackpots hiding in plain sight. People pass over this year thinking it's too new, too modern to be worth anything. But that's exactly why so many are missing it. This is the treasure no one sees coming. In 1995, the US Mint produced a small number of highly polished, ultra-detailed proof coins, including the Lincoln cent. These proof coins weren't meant for circulation. They were designed with beauty and precision for collectors only. You wouldn't find these in your change. You wouldn't see them in coin rolls. These came sealed in special proof sets, with a finish so brilliant and a design so sharp, you could practically see your reflection in it. But here's the twist. Not all proof coins are created equal. Some have flaws. Some were mishandled. Some were stored improperly. But a very small number, just a handful, have survived the test of time in nearly perfect condition. These are the ones that collectors are willing to spend serious money on. And the 1995 proof penny? It's one of the most aggressively hunted coins in that category right now. Think about that for a second. A coin minted in 1995, something less than 30 years old, is sparking bidding wars, driving collectors wild, and selling for unbelievable amounts of money. All because of rarity, quality, and the skyrocketing demand for flawless proof specimens. We're not talking about some once-in-a-lifetime discovery dug up with a metal detector. We're talking about a coin you, or someone in your family, might already have at home, hidden in a proof set that's been sitting untouched for decades. Let's talk about what makes this coin so valuable. First, the detail. These proof pennies weren't just struck once. They were struck multiple times with specially prepared dies, giving them razor-sharp detail and a mirror-like shine. Second, the condition. Only the best-preserved coins, those graded by professional grading services as nearly perfect, fetch top dollar. And third, the rarity and high grade. There were thousands of 1995 proof sets made, but only a tiny number of pennies within those sets have stayed in pristine, untouched condition. Those are the moneymakers. And here's where the story takes a jaw-dropping turn. These coins are selling. Not just talked about. Not just speculated on. They are actually selling at live auctions, online platforms, and private collector deals for eye-popping figures. You want numbers? Let me tell you something that's going to make you want to check every proof set you've got right now. A verified 1995 proof penny in high-grade condition has sold for as much as $2,700. That alone is a staggering figure for a coin most people wouldn't look twice at. But that's just the beginning. For the top-tier examples, the absolute best of the best, the ones that look like they just left the mint yesterday, this one little copper coin has sold for a jaw-dropping $59,000. That's right. $59,000 for a single penny from 1995. It's hard to believe, right? But it's happening. Collectors know exactly what they're looking for. Investors are pouring into rare coins like never before. And all it takes is one coin, the right coin, to completely flip your luck. It doesn't matter how long you've had it. It doesn't matter if it's been sitting in a closet, a drawer, or a forgotten proof set for decades. What matters is the condition, the rarity, and the demand. And right now, all three are coming together for this coin in a way that's exploding its value like a rocket. So what should you do? First, start checking your collection. Proof sets from 1995 are the key. Open them carefully. Look at the penny under good lighting. Is it flawless? Is it sharp, reflective, almost glowing? If so, you may be staring at something worth thousands. And if you have it professionally graded and it comes back with a top score, you could be holding $59,000 in the palm of your hand. It's real. It's happening. It's not just a collector's dream, it's a financial opportunity sitting in boxes, closets, and garages all over the country. So check your coins. Check your family's old sets. Don't assume anything. Because somewhere, maybe even right now, someone is about to discover that their old penny from 1995 is actually worth $2,700. And someone else, someone incredibly lucky, is going to find one so rare, so pristine, that it brings in $59,000. That someone could be you. But only if you look. Top 3. You probably look at pennies every day without thinking twice. They're small, they're copper, and they usually get tossed into a jar, lost in a couch cushion, or left at the bottom of a drawer. But what if I told you one of those pennies, just one, could be worth more than a brand new luxury car? What if I told you that a simple, common-looking 1-cent coin from 1990, if it came from a US mint-proof set, could be your golden ticket? This is the kind of story that makes people run to their basements, grab old coin albums, and start flipping through proof sets like they're hunting for gold. Because the 1990 proof penny is real, and it's turning everyday collectors and even total beginners into people cashing in big, without even knowing what they had. You might be holding one right now and not even realize it. Let me break it down for you. In 1990, the United States Mint produced a special set of coins known as proof sets. These weren't like your regular loose change. These were collector's coins struck with extreme care, using polished dies that produced a beautiful, mirror-like surface with laser-sharp details. These coins were sealed in hard plastic cases and sold directly to collectors. They weren't meant for spending. They weren't supposed to go into circulation. They were made for preservation, beauty, and rarity. But here's the catch: over the years, people lost track of them. They were handed down, boxed up, forgotten. And now, these coins, especially the 1990 Lincoln cent, are being rediscovered, and they're worth a whole lot more than 1 cent. The thing is, not all proof pennies from 1990 are valuable. It's the high-grade ones that are setting the market on fire. Coins that remained untouched, perfectly preserved, with that deep cameo finish and flawless strike, those are the ones that dealers and collectors are fighting over. Why? Because top-condition proof pennies from this year are insanely hard to find. And as more people discover the value, the competition to get one just keeps going up. Now here's something that most people don't realize. The 1990 proof penny had a secret. Some of the proof coins were mistakenly minted without the mint mark, which usually appears just below the date. Those rare no-S versions are like unicorns in the coin world. But even the normal 1990s proof penny, when found in perfect condition, has reached shocking prices. We're not just talking about a few $100s here. We're talking about thousands, and in some jaw-dropping cases, much, much more. There are stories of people finding these coins in proof sets that have been sitting on shelves for decades. Some were gifts from grandparents. Others were bought back in the day and then forgotten about. Imagine that, just sitting there all this time, not knowing a tiny coin in a plastic case could be worth more than what's in your checking account. Collectors aren't playing games when it comes to these coins. If you have a 1990 proof penny in top condition, sealed, untouched, flawless, there are real buyers out there who will pay big. And I mean big. There have been verified sales of the 1990 proof penny going for $2,700. That alone is enough to make anyone dig through their coin collection. But it gets crazier. In certain high-profile auctions, the same coin, under the right conditions, perfectly graded, has reached a mind-blowing final sale price of $69,000. That's right. A coin that most people would glance at and dismiss as just a penny has sold for $69,000. Let that sink in for a second. 1 cent worth $69,000. If this doesn't make you want to go check your old coin sets immediately, I don't know what will. Because that kind of money isn't just lucky, that's life changing. That's paying off your car. That's wiping out debt. That's investing in your future. And all of it, from a coin you could already have sitting in your house. So here's what you need to do. Go find those old US mint proof sets. Look for the one from 1990. Open it carefully. Look at the penny. Is it sharp? Is it shiny? Does it look like it's glowing with a mirror finish? You might want to get it graded by a professional service. Because if it comes back with a high enough grade, you could be sitting on thousands. Or tens of thousands. The difference between an ordinary penny and a proof penny in perfect condition? $2,700. And if you hit the jackpot with a flawless, top-tier example, you could be looking at $69,000. Yes, $69,000. So the question is, what are you waiting for? Because someone is going to find one today. And that someone could be you. Top 4. What if I told you that one of the most ordinary-looking pennies ever minted could secretly be worth more than your monthly paycheck? Or even your entire yearly salary? It's the kind of thing that sounds unbelievable until it happens. And yes, it's happening right now. There's a certain coin out there, a tiny piece of copper from 1989 that you might already own, and it could be worth thousands. Not because it's ancient. Not because it's made of gold. But because it's part of a very specific, very overlooked group of coins, the US Mint Proof set. Now, you've probably seen a penny from 1989 before and thought nothing of it. But here's where things get interesting. The 1989 Lincoln penny that came from the official proof set is a completely different animal. These weren't meant to go in circulation. These coins weren't tossed into coin jars or spent at the grocery store. These were specially minted, with mirror-like surfaces, deep cameo contrast, and razor-sharp details. They were sealed in protective cases and sold to collectors directly by the US Mint. And yet, after all these years, most people have no idea just how valuable the 1989 proof penny can be. These coins were made to be perfect. But very few of them actually survived the last 3 decades without damage, spots, scratches, or fading. Most were handled too much, stored improperly, or simply lost to time. Only a small number still exist in pristine, flawless condition. And those few? They are now worth a shocking amount of money. This is where the story gets really crazy. Every day, people are discovering that they own one of these coins and never even knew what they had. It's not buried treasure, it's forgotten treasure. It could be in your drawer, in a closet, in a safe, in an old proof set someone gave you years ago that's been collecting dust. One coin. 1 cent hiding in plain sight. The 1989 proof penny, when graded by professional services and confirmed to be in near-perfect condition, has started showing up in high-stakes coin auctions. And it's not just catching the eye of coin nerds, it's attracting serious buyers. Investors. Collectors. People with deep pockets who understand just how rare flawless proof coins from this era truly are. They're not just buying history, they're buying rarity, beauty, and value. This isn't just another penny. It's a status symbol. It's a vault asset. It's a coin that went from being worth 1 cent to being worth more than some luxury watches, more than high-end electronics, more than many people's entire savings. The demand for top-tier proof coins is rising fast. And every time one sells, it gets harder and harder to find another. That's what makes this so exciting, and so urgent. Now you might be asking yourself, how would I even know if I have one? Here's what to do. Find the 1989 US Mint Proof set. Open it carefully. Look at the penny. If it's rich in detail, with a deep shine and clear features that almost jump out of the surface, it could be worth a second look. Better yet, send it to be graded. If it comes back with a top-tier grade, you could be holding a life-changing coin. This isn't fiction. These coins are being bought and sold today. Not years ago. Not decades ago. Right now. People are turning these 1 cent proof coins into real money, and they're doing it from home, without even realizing they were sitting on something so valuable. This is your moment to check. your chance to discover what thousands are now racing to find. The 1989 proof penny might not look like much, but if it's the right one, in the right condition, it could be your financial game changer. And now, for the part that really matters, the value. Verified examples of the 1989 proof penny in high-grade condition have sold for as much as $2,700. But if you're one of the lucky few who owns a flawless, professionally graded specimen, the kind that collectors dream of, you could be looking at a payday of up to $56,000. That's right. $56,000. For one penny. So don't wait. Don't assume. Don't pass over that little copper coin again. Go check your proof sets. Ask your family. Dig into those old collections. Because somewhere out there, someone is going to discover they've been holding a $56,000 coin all along. And it might as well be you. Top 5. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that looks like every other penny you've ever seen, small, copper-colored, lightweight. Now imagine discovering that same penny is worth more than your rent, your car, or even more than what's in your savings account. It sounds insane, right? But that exact scenario is happening across the country, and it's all because of a coin that most people completely overlook, the 1984 American proof penny. Yes, we're talking about a 1-cent coin from 1984. Not ancient, not silver, not gold, just a simple, everyday Lincoln cent. But the version that came from the official U.S. Mint proof set? That coin is a hidden jackpot. And chances are you, or someone in your family, might already own it without having a clue what it's really worth. Back in 1984, the U.S. Mint created proof sets for collectors. These weren't regular coins. These weren't dumped into circulation or handed out in spare change. Proof coins were made differently, struck using special dies, carefully polished blanks, and double-struck for sharpness and shine. These coins have a mirror finish, with deep contrast between Lincoln's design and the coin's surface. They're beautiful. They were made to be collected and protected. But here's the thing, time isn't always kind, even to coins that were made to last. Proof sets get lost. They get damaged. People store them in hot garages, attics, or just forget about them entirely. Over the years, many of these coins have developed spots, toning, or tiny scratches. So finding a 1984 proof penny that has survived in flawless condition? That's becoming rare. Really rare. And as collectors scramble to find perfect examples, prices are shooting through the roof. And don't think for a second that you have to be a coin expert or dealer to cash in on this. Some of the biggest success stories come from ordinary people, folks who inherited coins, picked up a proof set at a yard sale, or just found one in a family collection. They send it off for grading, and suddenly, what they thought was just a pretty penny turns into thousands of dollars. Let's talk about why this particular coin is blowing up right now. First, the number of 1,984 proof pennies in truly pristine condition is shrinking fast. And second, demand is climbing, especially among high-end collectors who want to lock down rare proof specimens from the 1980s, an era that's become hotter than ever in the coin market. What once sat unnoticed in a plastic case is now a trophy piece. But only if it's flawless. If you're lucky enough to find one in your possession, here's what to look for: a crisp, sharp strike. A flawless surface with no marks. Deep cameo contrast, meaning Lincoln's face and the lettering should pop against the mirror background. And if it's still in its original U.S. Mint proof set case? Even better. That adds credibility and helps confirm authenticity. Now you might be wondering, is it really worth grading? Is it worth checking? Let me put it this way: if you found a lottery ticket lying on your desk, would you throw it away without scratching it? Of course not. And this coin is exactly that, a forgotten lottery ticket, waiting for the right eyes to spot it. Across the U.S., collectors have been scooping up 1984 proof pennies in top condition, and the numbers being paid are absolutely staggering. These aren't fairy tales. These aren't guesses. These are actual sales, happening through major auction houses and coin markets. Let's get to the part you've been waiting for: the value. A 1984 proof penny, in verified high-grade condition, has already sold for as much as $2,700. But if you have a truly exceptional piece, a top-graded, visually flawless example that checks every box for serious collectors, then buckle up, because that 1-cent coin could fetch as much as $66,000. Yes, you heard that right, $66,000. That's life-changing money. That's college tuition. That's a down payment on a house. That's generational wealth, inside a coin you could literally hold between your fingers. And the wildest part is, most people have no idea this is even possible. So if you've got old proof sets stored away, don't ignore them. Don't assume they're just souvenirs. That little penny from 1984? It might be the best investment you never knew you made. Go check now. You might be holding $2,700, or maybe even $66,000, and never even knew it. Top 6. There's a coin sitting quietly in proof sets across the country that looks like every other penny, but it's not. It's not just a coin. It's not just a piece of copper. It's a sleeper, a silent giant, a ticking time bomb of value. It's the 1982 American penny from the official U.S. Mint proof set, and if you happen to have it in the right condition, you're sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. It's easy to overlook this one. After all, 1982 doesn't sound that far back. It's not an 1800s coin. It's not gold or silver. It's a Lincoln cent. But this is where the story flips. Because 1982 wasn't just any year for the U.S. Mint. It was one of the most chaotic, experimental, and error-filled years in modern coin history, and the pennies that came out of it, especially the proof versions, are now exploding in value. So what made 1982 so special? It was the year the Mint made a massive change in the metal content of the penny. Before 1982, pennies were made mostly of copper. But because of rising metal costs, the Mint switched to a copper-plated zinc composition. But here's the kicker, they didn't switch all at once. They made both kinds, copper and zinc, all throughout the year. And in the process, they used multiple dyes, multiple designs, and struck multiple varieties. For collectors, 1982 became a puzzle, a mystery, a treasure map. Now zoom in on the proof coins, the ones struck specifically for collectors. These were made in very limited numbers and with extreme care. They weren't circulated. They were sealed in official U.S. Mint proof sets, with a mirror-like finish, brilliant luster, and sharp, high-relief details. These are not your everyday coins. These are the best of the best. Or at least they were meant to be. But here's where it gets juicy. Not every proof penny from 1982 was created equal. Some have deep cameo contrast. Some are flawless. Some were struck with rare dye varieties. And a few were preserved so perfectly, they'd become unicorns, almost impossible to find, yet highly hunted by serious collectors and investors. These few coins have triggered bidding wars and headline-grabbing prices that are turning heads everywhere in the numismatic world. What's really exciting is that the average person, someone like you or me, might already have one. Maybe it came in a proof set gifted years ago. Maybe it's been sitting in a closet, a safe, or a forgotten coin album. And the owner might have no clue they're sitting on a coin that could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. It's happening all across the country. People are cracking open old proof sets and finding treasure. Not silver, not gold, but copper, and more valuable than either. And the 1982 proof penny? It's become one of the most intriguing and profitable finds in the game. Collectors know how rare pristine examples are. They know how hard it is to get a perfect strike, a perfect surface, no scratches, no blemishes, and full deep cameo reflection. If you find one and get it professionally graded, and it comes back as a high-grade proof, you could be sitting on serious money. And if it's a rare variety, or a flawless deep cameo in the top percentile, that's when the value climbs into jaw-dropping territory. We're talking about coins being bought, sold, and fought over at major auctions by people who know exactly what they're doing. Here's what to look for. Find a sealed 1982 U.S. Mint proof set. Check the penny. Look for a bright, mirror-like background, strong details on Lincoln's bust, and no signs of wear. If it looks like it belongs in a museum, get it graded. Because that's where the real value starts showing up. You don't need to be a collector. You don't need to be a coin expert. All you need is one of these sets, and a little knowledge, and you could be in for a serious payday. Let's talk numbers. The 1982 proof penny, in a clean, graded high-end condition, has already fetched $2,700. That's for a coin that originally cost just pennies to produce. But if you have a perfect specimen, rare variety, flawless strike, deep cameo contrast, the numbers get truly wild. That coin has sold for as much as $76,000. That's right. $76,000. For a single penny from 1982. Not bad for something that's been sitting in a plastic case for decades, right? So go check? Now, go find those old proof sets. Look at the penny. You might be holding $2,700, or you might be holding $76,000. And you never know unless you look. It's not just a penny. It's a hidden fortune. Top 7. What if I told you that a penny from 2011, yes, a coin that's barely over a decade old, could be worth tens of thousands of dollars? It sounds crazy, right? Pennies are usually just spare change, but the 2011 American penny from the official U.S. Mint proof set is anything but ordinary. In fact, if you own one in the right condition, you could be sitting on a fortune that many people only dream about. The year 2011 doesn't scream rarity at first glance. It's recent, it's modern, and most pennies from that year are worth exactly 1 cent. But the key lies in the proof set, the special, carefully crafted collection of coins the U.S. Mint produced for collectors. Unlike pennies in circulation, these proof pennies weren't made for spending, they were made for preserving. They were struck multiple times with polished dies to create a mirror-like surface and deep, frosty details. These coins come in sealed plastic cases that protect them from the everyday wear and tear that destroys value. But here's the secret: not every proof penny is created equal. Over the years, many proof pennies from 2011 have lost their shine. Some were scratched, some developed spots or toning, and many were simply mishandled. The few that have survived in flawless, mint condition are incredibly rare, and that rarity is driving prices through the roof. Collectors and investors alike have caught on to the opportunity. The demand for pristine proof pennies is surging. Every time one of these coins appears at auction, it's met with fierce competition. People recognize that owning a top-grade 2011 proof penny isn't just about adding to a collection, it's about owning a piece of tangible, appreciating wealth. Imagine discovering that a simple penny, tucked away in an old proof set you forgot you had, is actually worth more than your monthly rent, your car payment, or even your yearly salary. That's not just a possibility anymore, it's happening all over the country. Ordinary people are suddenly uncovering extraordinary value in their coin collections, changing their lives overnight. So, how do you know if your 2011 penny is one of the valuable ones? First, check if it came from an official proof set. These sets are usually sealed in hard plastic cases and sold directly by the U.S. Mint. Then, examine the penny itself. The most valuable proof pennies have a deep cameo finish. The design, like Lincoln's profile, looks frosted and stands out sharply against a mirror-like background. The surfaces should be flawless, with no scratches, spots, or signs of wear. If your coin meets these criteria, it's time to get it professionally graded by a reputable service. A high grade can confirm its condition and authenticity, which can multiply its value exponentially. Let's talk numbers, because that's what everyone wants to hear. A typical 2011 proof penny in good condition might not fetch much more than a few dollars. But a coin that has been professionally graded as a flawless deep cameo proof is a completely different story. These rare gems have sold for prices as low as $2,700 and as high as $46,000. Yes, $46,000 for a single penny from 2011. This dramatic increase in value isn't just a fluke, it's a sign of a growing market where modern proof coins are becoming sought-after investments. Collectors are looking to secure coins with perfect surfaces, rare qualities, and impeccable provenance. The 2011 proof penny fits that bill perfectly. So, don't overlook your proof sets. Dig them out from wherever they've been hiding, attics, basements, safes, and check that 2011 penny closely. You might just be sitting on a treasure worth $2,700, or if you're really lucky, a coin that could bring in a staggering $46,000. The penny might be small, but its potential is enormous. This isn't just a coin, it's a golden opportunity. Will you find it before someone else does? Top 6. There's a coin sitting quietly in proof sets across the country that looks like every other penny, but it's not. It's not just a coin. It's not just a piece of copper. It's a sleeper, a silent giant, a ticking time bomb of value. It's the 1982 American penny from the official U.S. Mint proof set, and if you happen to have it in the right condition, you're sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. It's easy to overlook this one. After all, 1982 doesn't sound that far back. It's not an 1800s coin. It's not gold or silver. It's a Lincoln cent. But this is where the story flips. Because 1982 wasn't just any year for the U.S. Mint. It was one of the most chaotic, experimental, and error-filled years in modern coin history, and the pennies that came out of it, especially the proof versions, are now exploding in value. So what made 1982 so special? It was the year the Mint made a massive change in the metal content of the penny. Before 1982, pennies were made mostly of copper. But because of rising metal costs, the Mint switched to a copper-plated zinc composition. But here's the kicker, they didn't switch all at once. They made both kinds, copper and zinc, all throughout the year. And in the process, they used multiple dyes, multiple designs, and struck multiple varieties. For collectors, 1982 became a puzzle, a mystery, a treasure map. Now zoom in on the proof coins, the ones struck specifically for collectors. These were made in very limited numbers and with extreme care. They weren't circulated. They were sealed in official U.S. Mint proof sets, with a mirror-like finish, brilliant luster, and sharp, high-relief details. These are not your everyday coins. These are the best of the best. Or at least they were meant to be. But here's where it gets juicy. Not every proof penny from 1982 was created equal. Some have deep cameo contrast. Some are flawless. Some were struck with rare dye varieties. And a few? A few were preserved so perfectly, they'd become unicorns, almost impossible to find, yet highly hunted by serious collectors and investors. These few coins have triggered bidding wars and headline-grabbing prices that are turning heads everywhere in the numismatic world. What's really exciting is that the average person, someone like you or me, might already have one. Maybe it came in a proof set gifted years ago. Maybe it's been sitting in a closet, a safe, or a forgotten coin album. And the owner might have no clue they're sitting on a coin that could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. It's happening all across the country. People are cracking open old proof sets and finding treasure. Not silver, not gold, but copper, and more valuable than either. And the 1982 proof penny? It's become one of the most intriguing and profitable finds in the game. Collectors know how rare pristine examples are. They know how hard it is to get a perfect strike, a perfect surface, no scratches, no blemishes, and full deep cameo reflection. If you find one and get it professionally graded, and it comes back as a high-grade proof, you could be sitting on serious money. And if it's a rare variety, or a flawless deep cameo in the top percentile, that's when the value climbs into jaw-dropping territory. We're talking about coins being bought, sold, and fought over at major auctions by people who know exactly what they're doing. Here's what to look for. Find a sealed 1982 U.S. Mint proof set. Check the penny. Look for a bright, mirror-like background, strong details on Lincoln's bust, and no signs of wear. If it looks like it belongs in a museum, get it graded. Because that's where the real value starts showing up. You don't need to be a collector. You don't need to be a coin expert. All you need is one of these sets, and a little knowledge, and you could be in for a serious payday. Let's talk numbers. The 1982 proof penny, in a clean, graded high-end condition, has already fetched $2,700. That's for a coin that originally cost just pennies to produce. But if you have a perfect specimen, rare variety, flawless strike, deep cameo contrast, the numbers get truly wild. That coin has sold for as much as $76,000. That's right. $76,000. For a single penny from 1982. Not bad for something that's been sitting in a plastic case for decades, right? So go check? Now, go find those old proof sets. Look at the penny. You might be holding $2,700, or you might be holding $76,000, and you'd never know unless you looked. It's not just a penny. It's a hidden fortune.